Now, what would happen if the world's most powerful country tried to take over a small Arctic island? Not from an enemy state, but from a friend? Today, we're diving into the Greenland crisis, a rapidly escalating geopolitical standoff that is shaking NATO, rattling markets, and raising fears about global order in 2026. This isn't fiction. This is real, current, and happening right now. The situation right now. In early 2026, US President Donald Trump renewed his long-standing push for the United States to gain control of Greenland, a vast Arctic island that is a self-governing territory of Denmark. Trump has said the US must control Greenland for strategic reasons, including defense and Arctic influence. European and Danish leaders have firmly rejected this. Greenlanders and officials say the island is not for sale under any circumstances and must remain part of Denmark's territory. What makes Greenland important? So why Greenland? It's not just the ice. Greenland sits in the Arctic Circle at the gateway between North America and Europe and hosts key infrastructure like the Pituffik Space Base, vital for communications and missile tracking systems. Access to Greenland gives strategic advantage over Arctic airspace and oceans, plus potential access to rare minerals and shipping routes as ice recedes with warming temperatures. This makes the island important for countries concerned about China and Russia's growing Arctic activities. The diplomatic standoff. 2026 has seen an unprecedented diplomatic crisis. Trump has threatened tariffs. First 10% on European goods starting February 1st, rising to 25% by June unless Denmark agrees to sell Greenland. European leaders, from France to Germany, the UK, and Nordic states, have condemned this move, calling it a threat to transatlantic unity and international norms. Denmark has responded by increasing its military presence around Greenland to reinforce sovereignty and partnerships with other NATO allies. Greenlanders themselves marched in protests under the slogan, "Greenland is not for sale," one of the largest demonstrations in the island's history. International law and alliances. Here's the critical part. Greenland is protected under international law as part of the Kingdom of Denmark, a NATO member. That means any attempt to forcibly transfer control would violate core principles of territorial sovereignty and potentially fracture the alliance itself. Under the NATO treaty, an attack on one member is considered an attack on all, but that applies to defense, not territorial seizures between members. Trying to take territory from an ally in NATO could actually undermine the alliance and push countries to reconsider cooperation. Hypothetical escalation. Now, let's explore the what if. Suppose the US government triggers a stronger push for control, even as Greenland and Denmark reject it. What might happen next? NATO strains or splits. Denmark and other European NATO countries might distance themselves from US leadership. Leaders have already described Trump's stance as risking the future of NATO unity if forced control is pursued. Economic retaliation. The EU is considering massive tariff responses, potentially a €93 billion package, targeting US industries over coercive trade pressures. Geopolitical rebalancing. Countries might look to build new alliances independent of the US if transatlantic trust erodes. Just as some EU leaders have called for strategic autonomy, neutral nations take sides. Politically, even non-aligned nations could feel pushed to choose between old alliances and a new world order based on upholding international laws versus unilateral power moves. However, it's important to emphasize that actual global leaders prefer diplomatic solutions, not open conflict. Most nations prioritize negotiation, economic tools, and international legal frameworks to resolve disputes. Could this lead to World War III? So, could this situation lead to a global conflict on the scale of World War III? The simple answer, based on current international norms, alliances, and diplomatic institutions, is extremely unlikely. Here's why. global leaders generally avoid direct military conflict between major powers. NATO, the UN, and economic organizations are designed to de-escalate issues before they turn into global crises. Public opinion in most countries strongly favors diplomacy over conflict. Market reactions have already shown anxiety, like stock market drops and safe asset buying, but not readiness for war. Economic interdependence means war is costly. Countries rely on trade, shared technology, and global supply chains. And these are incentives to find peaceful solutions first. But tensions do reshape the world. Alliances might realign. New regional partnerships could strengthen. Global leadership could shift toward coalitions that prioritize rule-based order. What this means for the world. The Greenland dispute highlights how even a single territory can become a flashpoint in modern geopolitics. It shows us that international law matters. Alliances are built on trust. Diplomacy still leads in difficult times. And most importantly, the world isn't teetering toward all-out global conflict just because one strategic question has arisen. But how this situation evolves will shape global politics for decades to come. If you found this breakdown insightful, hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. What do you think the world looks like in 2030 because of this? See you in the next video.